The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is Mike from Where's Obama's Birth Certificate.com. Once again, Mike from Where's Obama's Birth Certificate.com. Welcome to my show. I have a special guest on this afternoon. I have Linda Jordan. Linda Jordan, yes, if you mention the name E-Verify, it goes along with Linda Jordan. She's got quite a story to tell, and I have her on hold. I want to give a little updated information about Mike Zulu. He is in Washington and will be there the next couple of days, and he is really stirring the pot, and I just want to say, go, Mike, go. And I also have Carl Gallup scheduled to call in about 15 minutes after the hour here. And with that, we are going to introduce our guest for today, and that would be Linda Jordan. Linda, are you here?
Yes, I am, Mike. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you for coming on board. Why don't you give a little introduction?
Well, Mike, I'm just a citizen. Very concerned about what's happening to our country, and in particular the person who's in the White House. I really don't know who he is, what his name is, where he came from, what his plans are, although I can see they're not for good. So I became more and more interested about Barack Obama in 2008, 2009, when I saw immediately that he was lying about his relationship with unrepentant terrorist Bill Ayers. And I was kind of shocked. I just thought, this guy's a liar. He's a liar because he said the only reason he knew Bill Ayers was because their children attended the same schools together, and that he knew him like any father would know another father whose kids go to the same school, except Ayers' children are 23 years older than Obama's. And it was a shock enough to me that he would lie like that, but that the media would allow that lie to just go unchallenged was even scarier. So that told me an awful lot about, who this man was and who's involved in a cover-up, and just felt very kind of fascist, communist, something evil's coming down the pike. So I started researching him, and it wasn't until about 2011, I think it was August, I decided enough is enough. I'd written a lot of people and said, come on, there's something wrong with this man. He's not who he says he is. He's lying. There's a private investigator who in Ohio, Susan Daniels, who's discovered he's using a phony or stolen Social Security number. There's problems with his birth certificate. You need to investigate this man. And I filed several formal complaints. I called people. I wrote letters to attorney generals and Social Security Administration and got nothing. So, I admire Susan Daniels very much for the work that she did and what she published, what she was willing to do for her country. So I used her as inspiration, and I took her work and kind of continued it and thought long and hard about how can I get a government agency to confirm that the Social Security number is phony. And in Washington State here, we have a program called E-Verify, and it's basically for employers who are required by law to confirm if their employees are eligible to work in the United States. And they do this primarily by checking their Social Security number. So I decided I was one of Barack Obama's employers, and I registered with E-Verify on August 17th, 2011, and I ran his Social Security number through their system, and it came back flagged for fraud. And how many Social Security, 45 million Social Security numbers, I think, are on the Numident file, and only 46,000 are flagged for fraud. So that's a big-time fraud.
Does that mean it doesn't exist, or has it been put in some kind of special file?
Well, it means, from what I've been my research has shown, is that it's a special indicator code only given out by the Inspector General, and in this case, it's for fraud, that the number is directly tied with, usage that's fraudulent. Now, whether it's because the Social Security number belongs to a dead person or because a Social Security number is totally fabricated and, you know, they've tied it to fraud incidents, but it's been flagged for fraud. I would bet anything that if the Social Security Administration ever admitted that they looked into it, they would not be able to prove otherwise. They would have to admit that, yes, it's been flagged for fraud.
Wow. It's almost like they know when they put it in a special file. If the number didn't exist, what kind of return would you get on the system?
You know, there were seven special indicator codes that the Inspector General could assign. Here, I'm getting my notebook out here, and I'm not sure what number it would be for a number that didn't exist. But it took me, I mean, if you saw my notebook I'm looking at now, it's about 5 inches thick. That's how much research it took for me to arrive at the correct interpretation, what I believe is the correct interpretation of what I got back from E-Verify. Of course, if I could have just asked, like any employer should have been able to ask, I wouldn't have had to go through all of this to figure it out. But I did, and I have it all documented, and I've shared it with people that are in positions of responsibility to do something about it, and they're not doing anything about it. So anyway, it was very, very interesting, and I never, you know, there were a lot of cries from progressives and liberal wackos that I should be thrown in jail for accessing the E-Verify system. You know, that I'd committed a federal crime and whatever, and I took that into consideration before I ran the check and was willing to take the risk for, I know I've never considered myself brave, but for my country, I just thought I've got to do this. Somebody's got to do something, my God. And I don't know if I told you this, but the day that the story broke on the E-Verify results, I was down at the Safeway grocery shopping, and I was kind of scared about what might happen to me. And I bought some groceries, and I get back my change. And, you know, the day I was down there, it was September 11th, 2011. And so I was kind of in a somber mood for that, too. And I get back my change, and the cashier goes, "Here's your change. You know, Mrs. Jordan, you got back 9/11." And she goes, "Wow, you just got back 9/11 on 9/11. And I was kind of stunned, and I said, "Yeah, I took that as a straight from God encouragement that I did the right thing and just to stand strong and take whatever comes my way." So I was prepared, and I was willing to legally argue that I had the right and the obligation to discern whether or not he's eligible to work in this country.
9/11 on 9/11, and it probably took you 9 minutes and 11 seconds to drive home.
Well, a little closer than that.
You mentioned why you started this. An average, ordinary citizen looked at it back in 2008. That's when I started my website. You're familiar with it. Where's Obama's birth certificate?
Yes, I am. I have your stamps, and I'm not afraid to use them. So,
you know, I just want to jump there really quick. What you just said, you getting all kinds of ridicule from whack jobs, left wing, right wing, whatever it may be. I created the stamp because back in 2008, we saw all of this. We saw bill errors. We saw all of the connections that were being looked for, bypassed, overlooked by the mainstream media. But our focus was on the original COLB, Certificate of Live Birth.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
And wasn't producing enough documents. And my wife and I said, well, how come the media isn't picking this up? This should be the biggest story. Then everything else started coming into play with bill errors and a shady background, 14 different names. I lived in Hawaii. He went to Pakistan. He was here. There was speculation where he was born, who his father may be. We had to get the message out. We created the stamp to stamp all kinds of things, whatever it may be, letters, currency, to get the message out. And it works, and it has worked, and it's been a little bit of a resurgence in the stamp itself, because I think people are getting scared. And as time went on, it has this ups and downs, but ordinary, average citizens like me and you and everybody else are trying to get to the truth, and that's all we want is the truth. Good president, bad president, I don't care what his name is, what his party affiliation is, what his color is, it doesn't matter. A lie is a lie, and he's a phony and a fake. Social Security number, we all know that the one he is shown is not right. You looked at it.
Right.
Susan Daniels looked at it. We've had other people look at it. Why isn't Congress looking at it? Why aren't there more red flags being raised?
Right.
The forged birth certificate issue is being looked at by Mike Zulu. I mean, it's already been proven to be phony, forged, fake. We don't know where he's coming from. We make no claims, and neither does Zulu or anybody else. We're just saying that it's not right. And then there's also the eligibility issue, whether he's constitutionally eligible to be president of the United States because of where his father is. His purported father was born. He was a British national at the time. We just have too many things that go on and on and on and on. And it's scary how it's being looked over every single day.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he's a liar, just a bald-faced liar, and he's using forged documents to try and prove who he is, and no one else in this country could get away with that, or at least not, when it's been exposed, to continue to get away with it. He couldn't use that ID to get in a cheap bar on a Saturday night, not even if he was a pretty girl. It's that bad. It's a rotten
Linda,
forgery.
Do you want to take a caller? I just have a caller calling in right now.
Okay.
Because we have about 17 minutes to go. I'm going to go right to the caller, and I have an idea who the caller may be. Caller, you're on the air with Linda Jordan. Is this Mona?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Mona.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Doing good.
I wanted to say thank you so much for being such a true patriot and putting it out there. That's really a scary thing to do.
Well, you're welcome. It was scary. I'm glad I did it though, and lots of people are doing similar kinds of things, taking that step, and they're willing to be ridiculed, mocked, whatever, or even hauled off to jail. But it just reminds me, looking at the people in Egypt. I mean, the courage that we refuse to show here in America makes me so sad. We can't even get out there and physically put our face and our name and our bodies out there. It's depressing, but there are people, and I just pray that the ship is slowly turning, and that we're finally getting, motivating enough people to be courageous and to actually do their jobs and go after this crime.
I agree. I cannot believe how everybody is ignoring it, whether it be denial or just not wanting to give up their comfortable life. How can they in their mind justify doing that? I mean, the implications of what that means, that it's a fraudulent birth certificate, don't they think past that?
You're right. What does that mean that someone would use something like that? Now, I mean, like Mike says, we have no idea who the guy's dad is. I don't know who his mom is, for that matter. I don't know who he is. I don't know what his name is. I don't know where he's born. I just know he's a liar and he's using fake ID. That's about it.
And he definitely has an agenda. I mean,
yeah, definitely not one that's good for America, and could be far, far worse than that, or whoever's using him. I don't know. But in my mind, any American should be able to get their head around fake ID. That's it. It's fake ID. People who use fake ID are people who are up to no good. And they're hiding something.
Not only that, if we use fake ID in our lives, how far do you think we would get? Would we be able to get a driver's license or get a passport? Or
Absolutely.
Like
I would love to stage in every. Let's go to get 1,000 people in every city to go to the Department of Licensing with fake ID and try and get a driver's license. And when they say no, just say, well, Obama did it. Why can't I do it? And do the same thing with everything. Turn in your tax returns with a fake ID and tell them, I just want you to know this is a fake ID, but that's okay, isn't it? And when they say, well, no, it isn't, well, Obama does it. He turned in his
Mona, I'm going to put you on
tax
hold
ID.
for a minute.
Okay.
Linda, I have a special caller right now who's going to give us an update right now, and I'm going to go to that caller right now. And I believe that we have Carl Gallups from Freedom Friday on the line.
Yes, Mike, I'm here.
Hey,
Welcome, Carl.
Well, hello, Linda.
Hi.
Hey, God bless you. It's good to hear you.
Yeah, you too. So you got an update. I can't wait to hear.
Yes. Mike, are you there?
Yes, I had Carl call in today because I understand, Carl, that Mike Zulu is on fire and in Washington, D.C.
Yes, Mike and Linda, the very latest, two things happened kind of back-to-back. One of them is Mike Zulu was contacted by another very high-ranking, I'm just going to say government official at this point, somebody who could get something moving on this, and was asked to come to Washington, D.C. to make a presentation of his findings. And so he did, and he's back home now. He was there all day yesterday. I talked with him late last night on the phone, and I talked with him about 45 minutes ago. That meeting went well, and that person is going to be having a meeting very soon with Congressman Steve Stockman, who has also asked Mike to come back to Washington to give him even more information. So the bottom line is we're finally getting some movement from some people who can make things happen, and we're closer now than we have been in years. Can't promise anything yet, except for the fact that wheels are turning, people are listening, and people who can make a congressional investigation happen are getting interested. And the second thing that happened at the same time while he was in Washington, the World Tribune published a huge article wherein they've investigated this matter and did a lengthy interview with Mike Zulu and did their own investigation. And the title of the article was something along the lines of Forensic Evidence Proves Birth Certificate is 100% forgery, no doubt about it. That was in the World Tribune today, or yesterday. So both of those things happened yesterday, and they're in the works, but this is moving along.
Well, thank you, Carl. I've been following it, and I had my show scheduled for today, and that's why I called you to give us the latest and breaking update. Like I said, Zulu is in Washington, D.C., and making waves. Carl, a quick question before I let you go. Do you think by Congressman Stockman stepping forward started the ball rolling?
I think it didn't hurt, that's for sure. The ball was already rolling before he stepped forward, but he certainly has really speeded the process up, yes, and it's wonderful that he is that much a part of it now.
Okay, great. Carl, you have about 30 seconds. Why don't you tell people how they can find you on your show?
Thank you. The easiest thing to find out everything about me, including my radio show, is carlgallups.com, carlgallups.com. And it's a pleasure to be on your show today, Mike. Thank you so much. It's good to talk to Linda Jordan as well.
Great. See ya.
Thank you, Carl. Have a good day.
Okay. God bless you guys.
Okay. Linda, before we go any further with the show, because time is running out, we have about 10 minutes left. When I called you last week and invited you on the show, you told me that you now are getting interactive, which is what my site's been about since day one. What can people do? What can someone who wants to do something now do with Linda Jordan?
Well, I'm, I had a website going because I'd filed a ballot challenge to keep Obama's name off the ballot here in Washington State because he's using fake ID. And I lost the challenge, and then in August I had
somebody else made that happen.
Oh, yeah. So I had appealed it to the Supreme Court, and they had fined me $13,000 for filing an appeal. And so I started a website with some friends on the Internet to fundraise for legal fees. And after paying the legal fees, I had former Supreme Court Justice of 15 years, Richard Sanders, represent me. Very wonderful man, lots of integrity, and he did a fantastic job and got it reduced to $3,500. So after paying him and the fine, I have money left over, and I'm starting a new website. The original one was ObamaForgeries.com. I'm starting a new website, which should be up and running before the summer's out, called ObamasFakeID.com, and it's going to be an interactive television set, like from the 1950s. You can turn different knobs. We'll take you to different places, but the feature is going to be a featured video, either daily or weekly, of ordinary citizens directly taking on Obama and basically saying, I know what you did. You're using fake ID, and then whatever they want, 2 to 3 minute videos that we will feature on the website and just generate there's so many wonderful people out there that really do know what's going on. And if we can just give them a platform to say it and to take on this treasonous, I want to say a foul word, but I can't. We got to take them on head to head, citizen by citizen, one way or another, we're going to get them. And I don't mean we're going to harm him, but we are going to get him for usurping the White House, for the treasonous acts that he's committed against our country, and he's going to have to stand trial somewhere, somehow. And it's not going to be, unfortunately, the people who are responsible for taking care of those things legally. It's going to be citizens that are going to press and press and press for it until it happens, I think. So this will be a platform for the everyday Joe to get on there and say what he wants to this man.
Which is
Although I hesitate to use the word man. What?
Which is what scares me, ordinary citizens. There's going to come a time when the microphone's going to be cut, the Internet's going to be cut. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but our voices are being drowned out slowly, but we are still there doing the same thing day and day, trying to get the word out, trying to get the truth out. It's pretty evident as what it is. Our resources are limited. We have to use Blog Talk Radio. We have to use blogs such as BirthaReport.com, probably the best place you can get daily information.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable. And that's called fit. Finally, it's starting to move a little bit.
Yes.
Great. Linda, I'm going to bring Mona back on for 1 minute. She's been holding patiently. We have about 6 minutes left. I know Mona, she helps me out on the website as much as she can. We have ordinary lives to lead, go to school, go to work, take care of the kids, and she helps me out as much as she can.
Right.
And it's just one day at a time, one person at a time. Are you there, Mona?
Yes.
Great. Did you hear Carl Gallup's update?
Yes, that's great. That is great
Little
news.
exciting.
And that idea for that website is awesome.
Well, hey, start filming. It's gonna. I'm gonna solicit anybody and everybody. Of course, we'll have the veto power there, depending on what we get. But I'm also going to ask some people like Victoria Jackson if she'll bring one, and just we're going to look for specific people that we think are just kind of on. Now, she's definitely out there on this issue, which is great, and totally supports our efforts. But I want to get people that maybe are sitting on the fence, but they want to say something, and I'm going to try and convince them to submit a video for this. And it'll have links to like our 5 fave websites and documents and my E-Verify research and the lawsuit that I filed, so people can read those documents themselves. A lot of people, just love getting sound bites, but I don't want to completely dumb it down. I'm a firm believer in saying the fewest words to get your point across, but I also want to have the facts and the evidence there. for people to get their hands on if they want it. And I'm amazed at how many people still don't know what's going on. They're still in the dark. And
I have some people on my Facebook that tell me that I'm crazy, that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I mean,
and what evidence do they give you any evidence when they say that?
No. And I asked. I went to high school with some of these people, and it just amazes me. They will not look at the evidence. I send them links, and I try, but they just will not hear me. They tell me I'm crazy.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know how you break past that.
I haven't been successful yet, but I'm going to keep trying.
There's a difference between I think it might rain and it's raining out right now. You know, it's fear. People will say things like Mona just said. They will say it out of fear. They won't come back and say, what evidence do you have? What documentation do you have? Tell me what the facts are. You're a racist. You don't know what you're talking about. You hate Obama. You hate this one. You hate that one. Well, because I hate him makes it a lie? No, it's documentation. It's evidence that's been uncovered.
Right, look at the evidence.
A lot.
You know what got me with the I did a report called Hawaii Inc. And because there's so many elements of this forgery to focus on, of his birth certificate that was posted on the White House website. But first and foremost, his lawyer went to Hawaii to get 2 paper documents, and somehow all they came back with was a PDF file. So right there, forgery. It's not what he went to get. It's not what he says he got. It's not what he asked for. He asked for paper. He got a PDF file. 2, I focused on the ink because Hawaii has a law that says that all birth certificates are to be signed in permanent ink, the signature. So the signature of Obama's purported mother, and with Obama, purported, has to be the preamble to anything Obama because he's a liar, so we have no idea. So Obama's purported mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, her signature goes from what appears to be ink, pixels, to computer-generated pixels. And you can't go from ink to computer-generated in a bona fide signature. It's a forged signature. You don't go from ink in 1961 to computer in 2000, whatever. And why couldn't a liberal or progressive get their mind around that? That's all, just that one little point that tells you the whole document is forged.
Mm-hmm. Linda, you have 30 seconds left. Would you mind giving out how people can contact you, donate to your cause?
Well, right now, like I said, the website's not up, but it will be obamasfakeid.com. I think obamaforgeries.com will also still be around. I have a P.O. Box, Linda Jordan, P.O. Box 2608. You know what? I'm so sorry. I can't think of the P.O. Box number, and I just renewed it. But it will be on the website, the P.O. Box number. And hopefully, like I said, by the end of the summer, so people start thinking of a 2 to 3 minute, whatever you want to say to Obama, and one way or another, we'll get that guy.
Linda, I really want to appreciate you coming on the show, and I thank you again. And Mona.
You're welcome. Both you guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, this is Mike from Where's Obama's BirthCertificate.com. You heard Linda Jordan. You heard Carl Gallups give a live update about Mike Zulu. I urge everybody to go to Where's Obama's BirthCertificate.com, BirthaReport.com. BirthaReport.com for daily, current, up-to-date information. Everybody have a good day.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.